Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. It is the 17th day of September. We're in the building. Yours truly, Joe Dupree from 100 BLK, the Black Station, with my brother from another mother. You know him from Keeping It Real with Reverend Al Sharpton and the open lines on WBLS 1075 in New York City. And he's in New York City. New York, big city of dreams, but everything in New York ain't always what it seems. He in the building. Brother Fatim, y'all. We
Morning,
here.
Joe. Good
Good
morning,
morning,
Joe.
brother.
Good morning, Joe. You see my background is a little different this morning. I'm at the SAG AFTRA building. If you don't know what SAG AFTRA means, it's the Screen Actors Guild, American
Mm,
Federation of Television
mm,
and Radio Artists. We
mm,
all in that union here. So
mm.
I'm coming from there in Manhattan on Broadway between 63rd and 64th Street here, and it's good to get out, hit that Long Island Railroad, park the car, hit that railroad, then hit the train.
Come on.
And I'm here in New York, and I passed the Eyewitness News, Channel 7, where they do the news. They do it out in, when I say in the street, you can see through the glass when they are doing it. So probably get a chance to get back up there this afternoon and do a little videotape in there as well. So good to be with you in this short period of time because I have a meeting that starts at 10:30. So I'll be leaving this conference room and headed into another conference room. Have a job meeting this morning.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about, brother. That's what we doing. The doc will be on around the top of the hour. Of course, we'll be telling you what's up, Doc, and me and Doc will knock this thing out and keep it flowing and going. Brother Fatim, it is Tell the Truth Tuesday. And one of the truths is it don't look good for Sean Diddy Combs. It don't look good for Sean Diddy Combs. That's the truth. Don't look good at
Yep.
all.
Well, it's interesting. I had something up here. Oh, here we go. So, if you haven't heard, if you're just waking up to the news, Sean Diddy Combs was taken into federal custody here in New York City last night.
Mm,
A statement from his attorney, Mark Angelifilo, said that Combs had relocated to New York, anticipating the charges, and declared Combs sought to clear his name in court. We are disappointed with the decision to pursue what we believe is an unjust prosecution of Mr. Combs by the U.S. Attorney's Office. Sean Diddy Combs is a music icon, self-made entrepreneur, loving family man, and proven philanthropist who has spent the last 30 years building an empire, adoring his children, and working to uplift the Black community. He is an
mm,
imperfect person, but he is not a criminal. To his credit, Mr. Combs has been nothing but cooperative with this investigation, and he voluntarily relocated to New York last week in anticipation of these charges. So we hear that. We heard what you had to say about Cassie. Then the video came and you showed you beating and kicking her. And then you had to get up there and apologize online. So, like they say, you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. Brother, you had to do the moonwalk back on that one, dealing with Cassie, and you settled with her very quickly. There's a lot of stories out there. There's a lot of accusations, and that's what happens in the media. But unfortunately, we will see where this road leads, my brother. Power and money can corrupt individuals, and
it
you'll
can.
see where this where this will
It
go.
can. It can. Good morning. Good morning. It is 8 minutes, 8 minutes past the hour on the 17th day of September. We see a lot of folks in the chat. Good morning, KC. Good morning, LaDavia. Good morning, Mr. Pickens. Yeah. But last but not least, but first always, is our girl Jax. There she is. Hey, Jax. Happy Tuesday, family. She's out there. She'll have a lovely face back on here very soon. And good morning to Dre Watson. Good morning, Eddie Barnett. Good morning to everybody who's logging in. And man, there are people logging in all over the place. Man,
Yep,
my little meter is jumping off all over the place. I'm gonna
that's
go ahead and
good. I want to just
yeah,
say something about Diddy because me and Casey was talking a little bit about it last night,
talk
and I
to me
want to put
now.
that out
Talk to
here.
me.
The
Talk
reason
to me.
why, because if you have been raped or somebody attempted to rape you or sexually abuse you, and when you hear these things, you cringe. You throw the
Yes.
book automatically.
Yes.
And when I've never been on either side of that. I've never abused any woman, nor have I been abused. But I'm just saying, for those that have gone through this, and like I said, we saw the videotape.
Right.
We saw the videotape. You
Right.
understand? And let's be real. Has Sean Puffy, Diddy, Combs, like, I knew him when he was Puffy, because you got to realize, I knew Diddy back when there was a stampede at City College. He gave that party. Him, Heavy D was there. A lot of people. I lost a friend, a neighbor on my block died in that stampede at City College. I was
Wow.
on the way up there to City College that night. And what stopped me, Joe, was the OJs. I had to deliver a tape to the OJs at the Apollo for my cousin. And the OJs went on late. So by the time I left the Apollo and jumped in the cab and head uptown to City College, I saw the flashing lights. I said, I'm not going in there. And I went home. Come to find out there was a stampede. The way the doors did lock so the people couldn't get out, and people got crushed and killed. So right then, our radio station at the time, Kiss FM, was one of the promoters, or they used our name. So we had to deal with it. Reverend Sharpton was involved, our station manager, Charles Warfield, Vinnie Brown, the program director. All we had a press conference at City Hall. So I've known this brother for a long time. Has he done good for people? Yes, he has. Yes, he has. But so has Al Capone. So has John Gotti, both of the late individuals. And those are gangster guys. They do good for your community. They do good for the family. But when they also mix that in and abuse people, that's when it becomes a problem. So those that have been abused, they don't want to hear crap.
Right.
They don't want to hear crap this morning. They want to throw the book. And I do know how people get sensitive about R. Kelly. R. Kelly, I don't want to say is a different story, but I just think that brother, I think he was put in double jeopardy. I think he was brought up on charges for a second time that he already had beat. And where's the accountability of the parents? Accountability of a lot of things. But at the end of the day, R. Kelly was an adult. So you made wrong decisions with minors, my brother. So you have to pay the piper. I think his sentence is too harsh? I don't want to start that can of worms this morning here. But it just makes us draw that line. A lot of people still listen to his music and don't talk good about him, but they still listen to his music. His music is he made some great music, and he wrote and produced just about everything that he's done, and for a lot of people as well.
Okay, so let me say it.
I'm gonna mute myself for a minute.
Okay, no problem. Let me say this from my opinion and my point of view. Brother Fatim said something that we really have to think about, but then we have to come to the other side of this, which is very much a reality. Diddy probably did a lot of great things for a lot of folks and did a lot for the community. You can do great things and be there for a lot of people, and you can be seen as a person who is one of our advocates and does great things for our community, but that does not make you exempt from being a bad person who does bad things. And some bad things that you do are almost inexcusable. Like R. Kelly. We can say, man, I love R. Kelly's music. I love listening to R. Kelly's music. R. Kelly is the man, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, had that been your daughter and you wasn't one of the people who pushed your daughter on R. Kelly, you would be saying right now, but he is a disgusting man to me. I don't care. I don't care if the list is from here to Pasadena and back about all the good things that he's done, all the good music, all the turkeys he's gave away, all the communities he spent money in. This man slept with my daughter when she was a minor. And once again, that's why hold on, Brother Fatim. That's why I always say the following, not to throw stones at anybody. Not to throw stones at anybody, but to say the following. You are free to do and say whatever you choose. However, you cannot control the consequences of what you said or what you did when the consequences come knocking.
So I'm not justifying what he's done. But let me go here. Let me put a little bass in my voice now. So I don't like the damn two rulers to measure the same damn inch, Joe. Jerry Lee Lewis did the same damn thing. Elvis Presley did the same damn thing. So at the end of the day, I'm not justifying what they did, but prosecute them all across the line without the race situation. You understand what I'm saying? Do the same damn thing for all of them. You understand what I'm saying? You know how many powerful white men that have gotten away with this? So for me, wrong is wrong, and I'm not justifying what R. Kelly has done. But what I'm saying is, hell with throwing the damn book at just R. Kelly, and don't throw the book at the other ones that did the damn same thing that happen to be Caucasian.
Hey, and I completely agree with you, and I'm 100% with you. You know, I laughed about something, but then I didn't laugh when I really got to sit and ride and come back and think about it. You're right. You know, we got the same inch being measured by two different rulers. Here's the biggest problem with that, and I need to get a black and white ruler, and that's what I'm going to get the next time to be my props. Here's the biggest problem with that. Also, we have to understand that at different times, the law was different. And guess what? Just because it's illegal,
the laws were different.
Okay, watch this. Yeah,
the laws were different.
Oh, watch this. You got to watch where I'm going, Fatim. Just watch where I'm going. Then you can come back. What I'm saying is, many a times you got to understand that laws are different and how folks are treated by the law is different. And also this, just because it's illegal doesn't, a lot of stuff that were considered illegal, we should have went to the other side and said, was it also immoral? But we don't go into that. Like, for prime example, you know, when folks, you know, you brought up Jerry Lee Lewis and all these other folks. Back in them days, we were still the N-word, and we wasn't the N-word in an endearing way. You know, and you're right. You can go even to modern day, since you brought them up. What was the guy that
Woody Allen? Thank you, Dre. Woody Allen asked. Don't give me that back in the day crap. Woody Allen is in today's time.
No. That's what I'm saying. You went back in the day. I'm trying to bring it a little sooner. What was the guy? Okay, what was the guy who killed himself? The guy that Trump's been flying around in his plane.
Harry, not Weinstein.
Yeah, Weinstein was. That's who I was wanting to bring up, because Weinstein is still living. But the other guy who supposedly killed himself out the blue, you know, that the prince from England was hanging out with, and your boy Trump was hanging out with. What was his name? Epstein. Epstein.
No.
Okay. So wait a minute. Watch this. Once
Epstein.
again, what you're saying is Jeffrey Epstein. You're absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
here's
right.
the problem. You're absolutely correct, Fatim, and I ring the bell for you. I give you a round of applause, because it is the same inch being measured by two different rulers.
Exactly.
You look at what happened to R. Kelly. You look at what happened to Bill Cosby. But that's because of us, because we are hard on us. We are quick to throw us. I don't hear nobody talking about Trump and Epstein. No, because you know what? But hey, Kamala Harris, I do it like they did. If Kamala, y'all misname, man, I want somebody to come up and smack y'all every time y'all misname that lady. Her name is Kamala. But since y'all want to play games and on purpose misname people, y'all tried to drag her dating record through the street. But y'all ain't said nothing about Trump and Epstein, because it is the same inch and two different rulers. Yeah, and then you jump up and go, The truth about it is, between Epstein and the guy you first named, what was the guy you first named?
I named Epstein, Woody Allen. I named Jerry Lee Lewis and Elvis Presley.
Right.
And laws were not different back then. Those were illegal. Those were okay.
But how the
whoa. Chuck Berry was back then.
Right.
He was brought up on the same charges. So don't say the rules were different.
It
was two different rulers to measure the same inch.
And you're absolutely
correct.
Chuck
Berry went to jail.
What I'm saying is how the law treated folks. Watch this. Like you said, Jerry Lee Lewis did the same thing Chuck Berry did, but Jerry Lee Lewis got treated totally different. Why? It was the same law. Why did he get treated different? Let's just go ahead and address the elephant in the room. Because he was white. Let's go. Because throughout the country and throughout the history of this country, we have had the same law, but it gets interpreted different when the person who is considered guilty is white. And we got to say it, because that's what it is. And that's why many a times we don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about hold up, a white guy gets pulled over, but he just happens to be related to or knows such and such and does such and such, and he goes through a whole different treatment than a black guy who don't know who's sitting at City Hall. I have literally had people that I had to engage with in law enforcement that the first word out their mouth is, do you know who my daddy is? Baby, knowing who your daddy is does not change the fact that you were going 50 miles over the speed limit in a 25-mile-an-hour speed zone where there is kids going to school. You're right, Brother Fatine. I'm sorry. I didn't want to go there this morning.
And you know, and Casey brings up this point.
Tell
you
the
know,
truth,
I don't have time to really break this whole thing for us to really have a real good conversation on R. Kelly. There was a brother who put out a music magazine, and he passed a while back ago. And he gave me a lot of things that was going on with R. Kelly. I knew the situation with R. Kelly and Aaliyah being married. That was annulled. And like I said, I've said this story before. I got a chance to talk to Aaliyah's father while she was doing an interview in our sister station, Hot 97, one night. And her father was going there, and he wasn't supposed to. With me, I didn't ask this man no question. I was a producer, but I'm not asking. I was just waiting for Aaliyah. I needed something for my daughters, and Aaliyah's promised something for them. So I was waiting, and he started to go there. And Aaliyah walked out, and God bless that my sister's soul. She said, "Hey, Fatine, Daddy, what you and Fatine talking about?" You see what I'm saying? You know, Daddy get mom. All right, Daddy. That's what she said to him. All right, Daddy. She knew there was a gag order. So I knew these things. And R. Kelly's a sick. I'm not making. He was sick on that situation. I don't, you know, for the women that he could have gravitated to, and adult women, you know, is one thing. But again, I don't get into these people's minds, you know. Right. And like you said, Casey, if it was your daughter or our daughter, we would react differently.
Right. Oh, and, yes. Yeah. Off top.
But I go back to Sparkle when the first video leaked, when R. Kelly had sex with 3 women. And one looked like a minor, which was Sparkle's niece. Sparkle was one of the artists that R. Kelly also produced. As we say, you know, and this is a tough conversation to have, because if you know people are possibly going to take advantage of, why would you let your kids go there? These other individuals that went there after that tape leaked, you knew that R. Kelly was capable of betting your young one. You hope that doesn't happen. You understand? So again, it's just one of the things that you just devil water walk into, because some people will take you out. You abuse their daughters at the end of the day. But then, you know, I said this before, and I brought this up on New York Yankees Polonia back in the day. Some of these minors out here, the parents can't control their asses. They go out there, these girls go out there, they get fake ID, they present it. My job is not to, if I ask you for ID and you show me ID, it's not my job to go and do a damn search on your ass to see if you are, oh, the lights go out. If I gotta move around and put the lights back on. I'll do that in a minute. So,
that's all right.
You know, so what I'm saying is there's a lot of people that do this, and they play the game to trap people. So that's why you gotta screen people, really screen people, man, because I'm telling you, this is a game. Just like that brother called in from Germany. I mean, logged in from Germany last week. This is a game that people play, and they hook a lot of people to get money. Right. They jam them up to get a lot of money out there. So
right. I'm gonna start playing. We got a song down here that goes, "You better pray that the lights don't go off." Well, listen, family, move around, because I'm gonna keep talking. I'm gonna go solo bolo mode. Hold on, I'm gonna go solo bolo for a minute. You know, brother Marcus Allen, my brother, I kept it up there, and I'm gonna read it, and I want y'all to think about what Marcus is saying, because he is so right in so many ways, and we're gonna go into this. So Marcus says, so is it the law? The law, the actual written law, that's the problem, or is it the enforcers of the law? Now, watch this. The enforcers of the law is just not the police. The enforcers of the law is the DAs. The enforcers of the laws is the judges. That is the problem. The laws are supposed to be rigid, but too many times they have become flexible. And guess what? Judges should have flexibility to kind of look at more than just the law as it is, flat down the way it is. That's a good question. And I believe the problem is the enforcers of the law, and it's not just the police, it's the DA, it's the judges, it's the whole legal system. Let me bring Fatim back in on this, because Brother Marcus has a good point here. Many a times we're mad at the laws. Now, understand this. If we're mad at the laws, we got to be mad at the people who put the laws in, and the people who put the laws in are the legislators that we elected to office. So once again, when you're sitting there not voting, you're the problem, because now somebody's in office who don't give a damn about you because you didn't vote for them anyway. And you didn't vote anyway. Forget that you didn't vote for them, because there will be winners and losers regardless if you vote. But at least you have a dog in the fight if you went to the polling place and you cast your vote, because you can at least say you were a part of the process. And if you really look at our numbers of those of us who are registered and don't vote, that's the reason why we keep having conversations like this. Brother Fatim.
I think Brother Marcus, he said, you had that comment up there. He talks about, but too many times have become flexible. I think that there needs to be some flexibility at times, because everything is just not so black and white of what's going on.
Right,
you understand?
Right.
You understand? Because, you may break the law. You may break the law on something, but why did you break the law? You understand? And even though you break the law and you need to be punished, that today, for instance, I'll give you an example. I'm not going to deal with a human being. So there's a career criminal, and he or she continues to break in stores for the gain, to sell stuff. And then there's one individual who doesn't have a record, but their family is hungry. They go out there and they go try to steal some food just to bring home so their family can eat, and they get caught. And that person goes before a judge. I don't think that person should get the same sentence as the person that is a career criminal doing the same thing. I don't think that. And that's where the flexibility sometimes has to come in. There is different reasons come in there. That's why you have grand juries. But if you get the right grand jury, I told you, I know somebody that broke in my friend's house, and he had a weapon. He couldn't get to the weapon because the way his door was, he had to go through the person coming in the house. He grabbed a knife and he stabbed the guy. And when he stabbed the guy, he killed that dude. Grand jury didn't even indict him. He didn't do anything wrong. He was in his house. He protected him and his wife, who was home. You understand what I'm saying? This is a good brother, quiet brother. I didn't know that. We used to ride the bus. He knew me in junior high school. We knew of each other. I didn't talk to him. One day we talked, and he was like, yo, they tried to lock me up, but this is what I did. And he said the grand jury didn't indict him. Damn right, the grand jury. Another man saw somebody standing over his kid's crib. He went back, got an illegal gun in New York City, blew that guy's head off. Grand jury didn't indict him. So it needs to be, like I said, one law is not fits all. You got to be flexible in this business here, because I'm telling you, all crimes committed by a person are not always weighing the same situation. I'm not promoting crime, but there's a reason why sometimes people go out there and do certain things, because sometimes their back is against the wall at the end of the day.
So let me do what I did with my good friend from Germany. And I'm going to do this. And here's why I'm doing this, because you might want to join in a different way. Of course, you can join in by phone. I'm actually setting the phone lines up as we speak. Phone lines are open, 225-250-8770. But you might want to come on camera. And if you do, it's real easy. All you got to do, and I think I shared it to all. Yeah, I did definitely share it to everybody on YouTube, because we are broadcasting live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Instagram Live. And I'm going to share this on all our platforms. If you want to jump on the screen and you don't want to call, because you might be in a place where you can't call, and you just say, look, I want to jump on the screen. All you got to do is click the link, follow the instructions, and we'll have you.
You need some lotion, man.
What you mean?
Your hands sound like sandpaper.
Oh, that's just the way they sound. They don't need lotion.
Yeah, man. What's going on? Where's your Jergens?
That's just how I sound. It's just how it is.
You ain't touching
I
your
put
wife
jerk
or
and know
nothing.
it's gonna sound the same way because
Oh Lord,
it's
lady. Well, he's married, so he don't have to worry about it.
right,
That's
right.
your wife got to deal with
Right,
that
right, right.
sandpaper.
If she
Them
like it,
rough
she should love it.
hands, and
Let's keep it moving. Yeah, some people
you
like
know I'm
rough
gonna
hands.
start some mess.
Ah! I'm just saying. Listen, phone lines are wide open. The link is there. I'm going to make sure that I get the link on our Facebook page also, in case you want to jump in on the video. The phone lines are open 225-250-8770. You can say what you want to. Yeah, it sounds like hey, it is what it is. Hey,
He
hey,
did that.
hey,
I thought a spark was gonna spark in a minute. I was like, "Come
hey,
on, baby, what
hey.
the hell?"
It is what it is. I call
He's
it
that
them 20.
hardworking man. Shh.
Thank you. That's why I call them 28 years military hands. Trust me, I wasn't always sitting behind the microphone
You ain't
talking,
you,
talking
you ain't got
good
these
shit.
42-year-old hands right here, brother. So
Right, right. Hold on, hold on.
you ain't got these
Everybody,
42-year-old hands here, brother.
everybody
You
can't
need
have
to
them
42.
folks
Yeah,
who
you need to
had.
drink more water. Drink some more agua, brother. You'll be all right.
Come on, bro. And let's just be real. Okay, since we got the doc coming on, come on, hold on. Since we got the doc coming on, not only do I have, and it's probably from a multitude of things if we talk to doc about it, I am a thyroid cancer survivor, still diagnosed with Graves' disease, still diagnosed with stage 3 kidney disease, still diagnosed with extreme diabetes because my blood sugar has been known to go up to past 1,000. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff I have to do. There's a lot of medications I take. There's shots I take sometime on a weekly or daily basis. And I don't share that with everybody, but I'm gonna share it now because folk look at me and say, "But bro, you ain't no beast. You don't look like no big 300 and some odd pound dude." Guess what? Disease doesn't have a certain look, and you have to take care of yourself, and you have to put yourself in a position where when you are diagnosed with things, you got to do what the doctor tell you to do. And you got to not only trust God, but you got to trust what God has put around you to get you whole and healthy. Too many times we just look up to the Most High and say, "Oh, all I got to do is pray and believe, and it's going to happen." And he's looking down, talking about, "I gave you everything around you to bring you back to where you need to be. And you need to put those things in line with what you're saying to bring to pass you being whole, healed, and well." Stop just going, "Oh, God, I know you got me. I know you got me. I ain't taking this medicine. I ain't worried about that. That ain't going to do nothing for me because you got me." Yeah, he got you. That's why he put the medicine there. Take the medicine.
Don't
Take the
start
medicine.
me because I had a talk with Sister Jax and about this. And one of the things that I was talking about, was pain management and pain medication. And because people hear so many opioid addictions, they are scared to take medicine. And the bottom line is if you have chronic pain or you had surgery, there's a regimen that you have to do. And you're not doing anything to prove anything to anyone. You need to manage the pain. The reason why you manage the pain so you can sleep properly, so your body can heal when you have to go through therapy and have to push through a little harder. You have something to kind of dull that pain. It won't take all the pain away, but you need that. And I've learned that. I work with the anesthesia department and with pain management about this. So I'm not talking something off the top of my head. I work with their pain management because there's a pain management department. You're supposed to be in every hospital because they can really deal with managing pain if the pain is out of hand. There's people who go on what is called PCA pumps. So the pain meds is administered.
Right.
They set it up on a
Hold it.
time setting and how much is going to go in. And if they make adjustments, if it's not working or if too much is being dispensed and you're sleeping too much, they readjust it so you can function. Pain management. Do what the doctor say. You're not putting an S on your chest, suffering in pain. That doesn't work and it doesn't help.
And Brother Fatim, you are so correct. And these days they have even little pods. Like, for example, I ain't got no shame in my game. My diabetes is monitored not only by me 24/7, it's monitored by my doctor. This little device here that is embedded into me that I have to switch out every 2 weeks does not only send a signal to my mobile device to my smartwatch, it sends a signal to my doctor. And if
Yeah.
things get out of hand, my doctor will call me on the spot and be like, hey, man, I just got to alert your blood sugar is 700 and something. What's going on? Do you need to immediately get to the hospital? And not only does it have my contact, because doc might be like, well, this brother's blood sugar done jumped up and he done passed out. It's got 3 other people's names that he calls immediately and says, hey, I just got an alert that Joe's blood sugar is above 700. Is he beside you? Is he okay? Technology has it that family, it's nothing wrong with you getting yourself together. But listen, I'm going to say this again, and I'm saying it for all my spiritual folks out there, all my holistic folks out there. Got love for y'all. Got love for y'all. But it's going to take more than just sometimes you putting your hands together and looking up to heaven or look to wherever you look to get your healing. You got to understand, if you're in a burning house and God send people to pull you out that burning house, but you keep saying, no, I'm all right, I'm good, God's going to deliver me. When you get to heaven, I promise you, God's going to say, I sent 3 people to pull you out to deliver you, but you were too busy waiting for me to show up. I did show up in that form.
And then point you to the down escalator.
Right. And tell you, well, it look like I ain't got room for you up here in the upper room.
Because we got to use common sense. That's why I keep saying this.
Come on.
And I hate my sister Jackson. I mean, she's on, but she's not on. I keep telling y'all, you got to use common sense. Period. Because at the end of the day, that's what God gave us, a will to choose between this and that, to use our mind. We have a brain. We have a mind. Use it intelligently. You understand what I'm saying? I'll give you another thing when you was talking about this health thing, which this is not just for the elderly people. Let's say if you got a child who has hypertension and or diabetes, right? Right. So what you need is that if you live alone, get that emergency alert system. My late wife, Hanifa, had that emergency alert system. Sometimes she would call and say, I'm not feeling well. She said, I think I need to go to the hospital. I'm not home. She can't wait till I get through mass transit to get home. She said, I'm letting you know. She hits that button. When she hits that button, that voice comes on. What is the emergency? She tells them, we dispatching the cops and the ambulance. Can you open the door? If you can't get to the door, we'll let them know. We'll break the door down to get in. These are the things that you need, because sometimes you can't get to that phone, and you get to your loved one. That emergency thing really works. People do fall and can't really get up. We used to joke about that. I fall and I can't get up, but that's real. That's real. So anybody's living alone, don't wait for his elderly. I don't care if you're 25, 42, 38, 72. It works for everybody, that if you have health challenges and you live by yourself, you need to have that. And then it's going to alert, like Joe Monitor alerts his doctor. It's going to also, on your contacts, it's going to send they're going to call you, your next of kin or whoever you have listed, they're going to call and send a text message as well. So-and-so press this alert. We are dispatching this, blah, blah, blah. So that's what's happening.
And I know that's to some folks a little old school because they remember the commercial. Once again, let me speak to y'all about modern technology, especially what Brother Fatim brought up about with the diabetes and with children who have diabetes or children that are in your household that may be teenagers under your care. If you have this type of monitoring system like I have, it will also, you can be at work and it can be 1 o'clock in the day. It will alert you that your child's blood sugar is elevated. And I say that because in places like Louisiana, let's just be real about this. We have certain laws that you can't have a cell phone in school. Well, or you can't wear your smartwatch to school unless there's an exception. And I do want to let you know this medical situation is an exception. So some of you need to really look into what's going on. Make sure that you got your I's dotted and your T's crossed. But Brother Douglas Gentry put something up here that we do need to talk about. He said the pharmaceutical company sometimes produce medicine before the side effects that determine the issue that you're dealing with.
That's not true. That's not quite true.
Okay, talk to me. Talk
That's
to
not
me
quite
now.
true.
Talk to me.
Because if you know anything about the situation is that when they create these medicines, you understand, they have to go through this trial and error situation, and they have to test it on a certain amount of people. And when they test it on a certain amount of people, they give certain amount of people that medicine, and they also give people a certain amount of people placebos, which the medicine is not in there. And they watch for those side effects. Now, where you are correct, Dr. Douglas Guidry, is that in that small group of people that they test, once that medicine hit the market, now it becomes broader. There's so many people out here that have so many different challenges and mixing medicine that there could be side effects that were not in place when they first did that trial and error. But if you know anything, for it to be approved by the FDA, that it has to go through that certain trial and error. But even though it goes through that trial and error and they do get side effects, they do learn more as they put it out in the system, and they do learn more about it. But they have to do a certain amount of trial and error before they can release that to the public. Because I notice people say generic medicine works the same as brand medicine. And I'll tell a doctor and a pharmacist, and I'll tell the doctor, come on, that's not always true, because there's still a plus and minus of how much they put in there. You understand? And then it's the inactive ingredients that may go into the generic that may not be in the brand. So when my wife got Percocet, instead of getting oxycodone, which is the generic name, she got the Percocet. You understand what I'm saying? Because they wrote DAW at the time, dispense as written. I wish the doc was here. Dispense as written.
Oh,
that means
he got me.
No, that means when you write dispense as written, mean if that doctor puts Percocet instead of oxycodone, you got to get the brand.
Right. You can't switch it to the generic brand for cost or anything else. You have to get it exactly the way it is. And look, we don't, and the doc's going to be on in any minute now. And so this is Tell the Truth Tuesday. This is once again why we do this podcast, because I'm not here to tell you what to think or how to think. I am telling you to get your own set of information and check the source of where you're getting the information from and think. Yeah. Understand this. There's a lot of information out there to be got, but all the information out there is not completely correct or have been vetted. So you're up in here, and a lot of folks do this. A lot of folks do this all the time. People who be in this feed, people everyday folks do this. They'll jump up and tell you what they heard, not knowing the source they heard it from is so bogus, phony, and has its own agenda that the information they're given is not a full truth, maybe not even a half truth, maybe not even a quarter of truth. It's absolutely not true. And now you're running around with a banner saying, look what I heard, or look at this video, or look at this, or something that was taken completely out of context. Once again, hashtag Truth Be Told is here for a multiple of reasons, but one of the biggest reasons, it's time for you to think. And it's time for you to vet the source of your information, because me and Brother Fatim say it all the time. If the source you got it from was corrupt, and it all of a sudden gets into your system, now your system is corrupt.
Yeah. So let's go to something that Sister Jack said, because she said something that's very, very important. And it puts checks and balances on what I said. And it put like I said, it checked and balanced what I said. So thanks, Sister Jack. He says the FDA also approves food that can be detrimental to us too. So let's talk about that, because Sister Jax, you are right. And even though I mentioned about the FDA and approving certain things, you are right. And when you deal with a system government that is about money and things like that, these things happen, and it's not acceptable. For instance, what Sister Jax said, if you look at the FDA here in America and you go to not a third world country, but you go to another country and look at the ingredients that's on the same packaging that you're getting here, you understand? You'll see that we have a lot more ingredients and chemicals in our food versus something else at the end of the day. So, I need, you know what? It's best to bring on somebody. I don't know if we can get somebody from the FDA, but maybe we can get somebody who's retired from the FDA that come on and speak. I'm not asking a whistleblower, but what I am asking, that they can tell us what is the difference, how the United States does things and how other countries that operate on the similar scale level? Is it to the point that we have more people in this country that we have to put more preservatives to keep the food fresher at a longer period of time? I'll give you another instance why Sister Jackson's on point. Why? You know why a lot of people, you just think you had a little stomach virus? You ate something that was not good possible. You know that they put dye in the meat that sits outside sometime in the grocery store. They put dye to make it look fresher. You understand? They extend the expiration date. She is right. She is right. And when you got to look at the system. We unfortunately, we're going to and fro on a daily basis. Nobody has time to really sit here and you think that the government is doing the right thing because they supposed to have checks and balances. With Sister Jack, you open up a can of worms. I have to agree with you. This government is about the bottom line, and the bottom line is the diet. Look what they lied about. The boys had food. They said it was liverwurst first. Then it got to the point that was contaminated with listeria. Now they just closed the Boarheads factory where? In Virginia, because it's infected with listeria. See, but they don't want to tell the people until so many people wind up getting sick.
So, Brother Fatim and Sister Jackson, everybody that's in the chat, here's what you have to understand. It goes back down to, I strip away everything. I strip away titles. I strip away agencies. And when you strip away everything, it comes down to good and bad people making good and bad decisions. And understand this, just like with right now with what's going on with some of the strikes and with Boeing, you have to understand this. When you don't have checks and balances to check folk and look at the work they're doing and quality control, folks just do what they do and keep it moving. You know, you got to understand, if all of a sudden the big boss says y'all got to put this much out, you know, here's what you're doing. Let's just be real about it, because I've been there, seen it. Here's what you're doing. You're grabbing your thing, zit, 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 zit. You don't know if that zit, 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 zit is super tight. You just know it's on there. It's on there. Hey, I did my part. Y'all telling me today I need to put out 100 doors. Guess what? Zit, 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 zit. Next door. Zit, 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 zit. Next door. And if you don't have checks and balances, just that as an example, in many of things, and you rush through it to get the quota right, then you wind up putting people in harm's way. And they're supposed to be not only government agencies, but let's go to the accountability and the responsibility of the job itself and the people who own the business to make sure that the product that they're putting out is safe for the consumer. Many a time we put stuff on government that really should be on the business itself. The business itself should make sure. Brother Eddie works for a trucking company. If Brother Eddie by accident backs up, hooks up to a trailer and forgets to hook up something, is that on the government or is that on Eddie and his company, because they should have checked and made sure everything was good before Eddie pulled out? See, many a time we try to put stuff on other folks, and I keep saying the government is there the government should be there to give quality control to the actual company, but the company has to be to the place that they're not trying to get so much profit and so much over. They're not trying to get so rich, so big, so this, that they don't forget the safety of their employees, the safety of the products and the services that they give to the public, because many a times the problem is they're too busy trying to get too big too quick. And I'm just saying, and like Brother Eddie said, and I give him all the credit, too many times he said that's on me first. And if a lot of folks would take that type of philosophy, and Brother Eddie, me and you are in full agreement, we got to start asking ourselves, did I do what I needed to do to make sure everything was all right? Because what I'm doing can affect a lot of folks if you're on that chain and that line to get products and services to people.
Yep, if you can, because some companies handcuff you. You got to do certain things
Hold
in
it,
a
come
certain
on.
amount of time.
Right, and
You
that's what I
got to do
was
certain
saying.
amount of things, so
That's what I was
it
saying.
goes out the window. Because then when you come back and you tell your manager, well, this is what I did, he's going to say, I told you, you got to do this in this amount of time. I'm writing you up. So you be like, hell with this. I'm doing my job. The hell with that. And that's why I'm saying you got to have all these checks and balances. But let me just add to this. So I got breaking news story here. Is an update to our story this morning. So Sean Diddy Combs is now a criminal defendant in a sex trafficking and racketeering case after a grand jury indicted him. This is according to the official documents. Diddy has been charged now with 3 counts of racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution. These are the charges. His lawyer, Mark Agnifilio, said going into the courthouse, he will fight like hell to get his client released on bail. Diddy will appear before a judge a little later this morning. So that is what the seal indictment, because we didn't mention the indictment. We didn't know the charge because there was a seal. It was a seal indictment till this morning. Those are the charges that are going against Sean Diddy Combs.
I need you, Brother Fatim, once again, because some folks may not have caught that. I need you to read those charges again, please.
Okay, so here we go. As I stated, Sean Diddy Combs now is a criminal defendant in a sex trafficking and racketeering case after a grand jury indicted him. Diddy has been charged with 3 counts of racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. I messed that word up. Coercion and transportation to engage in prostitution. Those are the 3 charges. Now, let me just say this. Reverend Sharpton had 68 counts. A lot of people don't talk about it. Reverend Sharpton has 68 counts against him. Attorney Alton Mattis, the late attorney Alton Mattis, because we knew these were trumped up charges. We knew these were trumped up charges, but Reverend Sharpton had to go through trial, went through trial. Every charge, not like Trump. Trump was indicted and convicted on 34 counts. Reverend Sharpton was found not guilty on 68 charges. They came to throw the book at Sharpton because he was upset. He was upsetting the apple cart. I'm glad I was standing with that brother back then. Now everybody want to stand next to him to take a picture, but back then you didn't want to stand next to him because you thought he was a buffoon. He's overweight, got a perm, this, that, and the other. Okay, there you go. 68 charges, not guilty for all of them.
Yeah, found not guilty. Found
not guilty on Reverend Sharpton. Not guilty.
Found
all
not
68
guilty
charges
by a jury of his peers.
So we'll see what happens in this. They got to prove their case. I just, again, word of mouth is word of mouth. I've never hung with Sean Diddy Combs. I've heard things, and I've heard things. And a lot of people talked about these things.
Hey, we got a guy here, and I'm going to see, can we get him on? His name is Flex. He actually was a part of that. It was a contest that P. Diddy had. Where's P. Diddy or Find P. Diddy?
I could get this guy named Mark Curry to come on here, who wrote a book about Diddy. I could get Mark to come on here.
I'm gonna see we need to work on you getting Mark. I'm gonna see, can I get Flex? These are people who have been close to Sean Diddy Combs, and Flex is a local guy here in Louisiana. Good guy. Let me see, can I get him on the podcast to talk about his experience when he was, if he can, because once again, you don't know what type of contracts have been signed or what has happened, but we're definitely going to try to do that. It is 7 minutes to the top of the hour. Welcome to hashtag Truth Be Told. We are broadcasted live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Instagram. And family, we are in the building. Yeah.
Hey, Joe. So I took my mic off of my headphones. I want to bring somebody on in this. Come over here. He's got a damn tie on today. I want to bring one of my colleagues on.
Bring him in.
Since WBLS, we don't even need this mic right now. Since WBLS is celebrating 50 years this year.
Watch out now.
Don't know, in New York, this is Dr. Bob Lee here. All right. Good morning, my brother. How you looking sharp, my brother? You looking different in the parade the other day.
I know. We had to stomp the ground out there.
That's my man, Joe Dupree.
Joe Dupree.
What's happening, my brother? Now listen, y'all don't know that is royalty. That is legacy. That is a path trailblazer maker that guys like myself and many others have now the ability to share these mics, speak on these mics, and get out there and get the message out to our people. My brother, I am more than humbled. I am literally, hey, It's
Thank
just
you,
good to
brother.
see you, my brother.
Thank you. Let me straighten out my tie then.
Listen to his voice. Listen to his voice here. You know?
Hey,
I
hey.
appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for that.
You know, Dr. Bob Lee has done a lot, and I go back to when, when you used to go around to the schools, and you still work with youth today on college. So tell people a little bit of what you do, my brother, and on the air work as well. Go ahead, my brother.
We work with a lot of community-based organizations, a lot of churches, community centers, municipalities. We're just out and about, just bringing people together. What I like to say is we want to get people to move together in the same direction for a common cause. And I think that's what it's all about. Community building. And that's what you've been out there with me for many years doing this.
Yeah, I told the story. I was at the mall. We was at Green Acres Mall. I worked for Kiss FM. We were competitors at that time. He worked for BLS. I got there and I had a Kiss FM shirt on. And Dr. Bob Lee was giving out some things and he was short-staffed. I took off my Kiss FM shirt to help the brother because a lot of people said, because we were competitive.
We could talk about it now.
Yeah, we could talk about it now. But we were competitors, but we still supported, especially a Black-owned radio station at the time, WBLS.
Yeah.
You understand? With the biggest voices. I mean, you worked with Frankie Crocker, Vaughn Harper. These are late, great voices. In 50 years of BLS, there's not a lot of radio stations that can say they have survived 50 years without really changing their format. Yeah. Talk about the importance of WBLS, not only to you, but to our listeners, brother.
Well, let me borrow that microphone right there for a second. I was sitting in there with Hal Jackson. He's one of the guys who started WBLS along with Percy Sutton. And I'm sitting in there as a little skinny kid with a big afro. And he's tapping on his mic. He's looking off of me, looking at me. And we're off the air. But he says, "You know what this is?" And to me, I'm a young cat coming up. This is a microphone. But he said, "Do you know what this is?" But later on, you become to realize that this is the power to persuade and move people and guide people, and for good or bad. And people are fighting over this microphone.
Yes, sir.
Whoever controls the media can control the narrative. And I'm not just talking about radio, TV, but I'm talking about newspapers, magazines, social media, and AI and all the things above. So Hal Jackson had something back then when he was tapping on this microphone, asking me if I knew what this was about.
Yeah. And Hal Jackson was the founder, honestly, of WLIB and then WBLS. WLIB AM came in first. Then WBLS came in. You got to know the history if you're going to work for the company. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, Dr. Lee, I can say this from a brother who was born, raised in the music scene in Tennessee, Memphis, Tennessee, Jackson, Tennessee. The late great Clarence Thomas, and the late great Bobby OJ. Bobby once said to me, I remember it well. He had called me when Gladiator came out, the movie. And he said, if I ever taught you anything in media and radio, I'm teaching you this. He said, did you see what happened in Gladiator? And I was like, man, it's a great movie. What are you talking about? He said, there was this particular scene in there that he said, if this isn't Black media and radio, nothing is. And I said, what was it, Bobby? And Bobby said, when they stood up and told the Gladiator, he that rules the Colosseum, the mob that is called Rome, is the guy who really is the most powerful person in all of Rome. And that's what he said. We have to be the most powerful person ruling the Colosseum by this microphone, because these microphones are something serious. That's why right now it's so dangerous, because everybody has them. Back in your day, very few folks had them. Back in my day, a little more folks had them because of the doors you opened, Dr. Lee. And once again, we got to give you respect. We got to give you love, and we got to give you thanks, because had you not kicked some doors open, we wouldn't be sitting here right now behind these microphones. Now everybody and their mama got a microphone.
Everybody. Let me just read. Rhonda Hairston says, talking about Dr. Bob Lee and Lenny Green, their voices are just so. And Darlene Bryan say, hello, Dr. Bob Lee. A lot of love there. A lot of New Yorkers on here, but we across the country on this hashtag Truth Be Told podcast. I'm not going to keep Dr. Bob Lee because he's our shop steward. He's the one. But he knows who's going to throw the daggers. I'm the one that's going to have to throw the daggers in this damn meeting today. But no, on the serious side, we work together. It's a blessing to work together with this brother. to work for a heritage radio station in New York City. We just had such a great time at the African American Day Parade. It was the 55th annual African American Day Parade held in Harlem. You was one of the voices there as the moderator. So he wasn't on the float with us. He was there at the big stage when everybody came down. But Dr. Bob Lee, I got to thank you for everything that you have done, my brother, because this is my brother, man. And we hang out in the studios. We go eat Chinese food together and times together. And that's all I can say on the air.
Thank you
Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, you never know who's going to come on. Dr. Bob Lee, Dr. Lee, thank you that we have a living legend in broadcast radio in the New York tri-state area on this show. I am honored. I am humbled. I definitely need to get your number from Brother Fatim because I want to talk to you about some things, and we need to continue to move forward, to build, to learn, and to grow, and to keep this thing going. We need to have these mics hot where folks can get it straight from us.
And become a reverend and spread the word.
That's it.
Come on
Become
now.
a reverend. REV. Register, educate, and vote.
Oh, that was some smoke right there. Y'all got it right here from the good doc himself.
There you go. I'm glad he ain't
Spread the
talking about
word.
me because I don't want to hear nothing about me. Don't.
I love you guys. I love you, man.
You love you too, brother.
Thank you. I want to thank your audience. Always remember this: what you are is God's gift to you. What you make of yourself is your gift to God. So choose your choice and let your choice control the chooser. Of the Doc Bob Lee, hanging out with Fatim and my brother
Joe
Joe Dupree.
Dupree.
There you go. That's how we do it. A student of Frankie, the late Frankie, Chief Crocker.
Crocker.
WBLS.
There you
Peace. I love you guys, man.
Peace, brother.
Sorry for jumping in like that.
Nah, I told you to come
Good.
in.
Welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome, my brother.
You welcome to jump in anytime. Anytime.
There you go.
Thank you, brother.
Don't tell
Dupree.
this brother that you don't. Yeah, don't tell him.
All right,
that.
let me leave and come back. Right?
Bye. Get out of here.
With
Make sure
that
I get
being
some
said,
food. I want some food.
we're gonna take it. We're gonna take it from one doc to the next. Hey,
There you
let's get Doc Griggs in the
All right,
building.
brother.
Doc Griggs is in the building. It's time to get checked, get moving, get fit, get it going. Doc Griggs is in the building. Doc Griggs,
morning.
what's happening, baby?
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning,
So-
my brother.
So, Doc, we were having interesting conversations about medicines, about, some folk want to pray on it and don't get, but we were talking about everything from the FDA to all kind of stuff before you came on. So I'm going to let Brother Fatim kind of kick it off. I know he's soon going to have to leave and it's going to be me and you, but this was an interesting conversation about when your doctor prescribes medicines, how you can't just discredit those meds and be like, well, doc prescribed them, but I'm gonna pray on it. God's got me, and then all of a sudden you got to understand your first of all, when they say take it as prescribed, when they say take it just like I said, take it, you can't deviate from that and expect the maximum effect of those medicines to bring about the healing that you might need to have. Doc Griggs is in the building, y'all. Let's go.
Yeah. So let me just say this to the doc. Good morning again, doc. And always good to see you, my brother. One of the things is that our other co-host, Sister Jax, just had hip replacement surgery. And one of the things, not only just to zero in on that, but there's a lot of people with cancer, sickle cell, and other issues out there, or may have had surgeries for things that you need to heal from. And a lot of people are scared of pain or opioids because they hear so much in the news that people get addicted, this, that, and the other. And I'm not saying that isn't a problem, but for me, working with pain management before and understanding, because not only when I talked about my wife and advocating for her about sickle cell, I also had to advocate about her pain meds, because sometimes if the doctor if he's written every 3 hours to give at that time Demerol, or now Dilaudid, you understand? And then 4 hours go by and she's back in pain and it's getting worse. You're not managing the pain. The doctor wants it to be managed, especially when pain management steps in. Now, Doc, let me just say this. Long Island College Hospital is no more in Brooklyn. They didn't use PCA pumps that much for sickle cell patients. We pushed and pushed and pushed till they did a trial basis with the PCA pumps. And that's the PCA pumps is the one that administers, not talking to the doctor, the people in the chat, which he'll go in more detail, is help administer the amount of pain meds and the quantity of time that it should be administered to you. And then they come back to make sure that it's working, or if it's too much, they make the adjustment. But working with pain management, they say the first thing is you have to manage the pain, because if you don't manage the pain, the person's going to be in pain, and it causes a lot of other things, including anxiety. And we don't want to do those things. And then on the flip side, a lot of people come home and they was like, I'm not going to take this pain medicine, but you're not sleeping good at the night. You don't give your body a chance to heal. And then when you have to go through therapy, you can't push through because you're not taking the pain meds to kind of help you get through this. So, Doc, I would like you to kind of talk a little bit about that, about pain management and those folks that are really fearful of taking opioids when their doctor prescribed them to them.
So first of all, thanks and good morning. PCA, patient-controlled administration. Basically, when the patient's in pain, you can push the button and your medicine can be administered, and there's governors, so you can't overdo it to protect you. But those are PCA pumps. Again, we treat our bodies worse than we treat our cars. When the check engine light is on, if your mechanic tells you to go to every fourth gas station, get premium gas, you do. And you make sure you do anything to keep the light off. It's the same thing with medications. There's no benefit. Unlike what a lot of people think, oh, you get a kickback every time you write a prescription. It's not the case. That's illegal. It's not the case. You're coming to the doctor with a problem. Your check engine light, you're in pain. You need a medication for your blood pressure. You need a medication for your diabetes. You need a medication for your skin, anything. Based on your presentation, this is what will treat you, taken as prescribed, be it opioids, be it a fluid pill for your blood pressure, be it something for your thyroid. It's the same thing. It's prescribed this way for a reason, based on the years and years and millions of dollars of clinical trials to bring this drug to market. This is the most effective way for it to treat you and make you feel better and make your life more manageable and your existence better. And again, I'm saying this as a blanket for all medications. Now, if you have questions about your medications and they're not working out for you, that's why we do the show, is to empower you to ask the right questions. So, hey, this medication might not be the one that works for me. So you can talk to your doctor about something else that will treat your condition. So it's the same thing. You taking medications as prescribed. Don't be afraid to take your medications as prescribed. If it's an opioid and it says every 4 to 6 hours as needed, well, if you don't need it in that 4 to 6 hours, don't take it. But after 4 to 6 hours is up, if it's 8 o'clock and 12 o'clock, you're in pain, take the pill. It's really that simple. The problem comes when we overconsume or underconsume what we're prescribed. Does that make sense?
It does.
Sir.
It does. Phone lines are wide open, 225-250-8770. In the chat, if you have any questions for Doc Griggs, please put it out there where we can get it to the doc. You know, at the end of the day, it's all about knowing yourself, knowing what conversations you need to have as conversation starters when you go see your doctor, where you can get the maximum out of that visit so that you can be holistically well. That's what we're here for. The disclaimer is we're not here to tell you how to do your medical life, but we are here to give you information that can give you some conversation starters to start with your doctor, that you can literally be the best you that you can be. That's what we want to do. Give them the disclaimer, Doc. I don't know how it really actually goes.
No, we're not. This is for education, educational purposes only, for the sake of discussion. We are not prescribing or treating anyone on this show. If you have any real questions, talk to your medical professional. Going back though, once you start the conversation, you need to be. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Once you start the conversation, like Brother Fatin, either you need to take an advocate with you or be your own advocate to continue the conversation and ask all of those. Don't wait until you leave the doctor's office and be like, I'm not taking that because I don't know what it is. You have the opportunity, and you still do. once you leave the doctor's office, you have a question about your medication. In order to get your medication, you're in the perfect place to get your questions answered. You're at a pharmacy. And there's a little window called consultation window. It's an underused window. People use that when they want to skip the line. When they want to buy toilet tissue or something and skip everybody in line, they want to go over there and try to buy in front of you. It's actually not for that. It's exactly for what we're talking about. Consultation with a pharmacist. Tell me what this medication is and how should I take it? I didn't understand when he said this. Is this something that I really need? What questions do I need? I need to go back. What questions do I need to ask? You have a resource right there that's available to you that you see every time that you go get your medication. And you don't, it's not just 6 to 7 minutes. You can stand there until you get your question answered. So use the pharmacist. Please use the pharmacist.
Watch this. One of the questions I had to ask, because I was just curious. One of my medicines says, do not take with grapefruit. So I was there going, okay, I'm not a big grapefruit eater, but I do eat a lot of oranges and I do eat lemons. So I said, wait a minute. Is it just grapefruits? Or is it citrus fruits that are like oranges and lemons? And, and I had that conversation because sometimes you ask yourself, what's the difference between a grapefruit and an orange? They're both literally in the citrus group. And I got my questions answered, period.
Yeah. And, it's one thing, and I'm going to bounce around because I have to jump off a little earlier. Bounce around is that, I've been dealing with, my blood sugar being slightly elevated, not where I want it to be. And then yesterday, because my legs, because of the parade, my hips and my legs. So after doing this podcast, I wind up sleeping. So I wind up not eating, and that's not me. Fatine always eats a little bit of breakfast, something. I believe when you take your meds, eat. But I wind up not eating till I went out after 7 last night. But I started to feel a little jittery. So I said, let me take my blood sugar before I walk out this door. Because once I get behind that car, if I get the shakes, I'm tanking. And that's not good. So, because I knew I had juice in the house, that I'll take a glass of juice before I go outside. I checked my blood sugar and it was 123. And as I said to Dr. Griggs before, that when I'm getting in that range between 110 and 123, I start to feel it. I feel it there. The point I'm making is I did get something to eat, no problem. This morning when I got up, I took my blood pressure. I think it was 170, not 170. Excuse the light goes out here. 124/74. My blood sugar was 150. So what I did, Dr. Griggs, is I didn't take my meds right then. I wait till I got here because I'm in Manhattan right now. So I wait till I got here and I took them right before the show because I know they're going to have a light breakfast here so I can eat something on top of that just in case my blood sugar comes down because I took my diabetes pill as well. So what I'm trying to say is, folks, you got to know your body, but you also need to know if you need to know what your blood pressure is. When you go to the doctor for your annual checkup, that shouldn't be the last time if you have hypertension. You should have something in the house. They got these iPhone apps now that can take your blood pressure. They got certain apps that can take your blood sugar. You need to be your own advocate. Dr. Griggs said that. You need to be your own advocate on things like that and bring your other advocate if you cannot communicate or you have a hard time understanding the doctor that there needs to be communication, but you have to be your number one advocate. Because if you're not, who's going to advocate for you but yourself?
That part. All right, let's go to Jackie Jacks. She's on line 1. Jax, you're back. Welcome to Hashtag Truth Be Told. I'm pretty sure you got plenty of questions for the doc. Let's go.
Yes, I'm back. Hey, Doc Griggs, how are you?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. Quick question. What's up, Brother Fatine and Joe? You guys are doing a phenomenal job today. So thanks so much for everything and some great advice. I do have a question for you, Doc. So when I had my hip replacement last Wednesday, I was prescribed Tramadol as well as Tylenol and inflammation, suffer inflammation and antibiotic and all this other kind of stuff, right? So my mother-in-law has been making sure I take my Tramadol and Tylenol and stuff exactly on time. However, it felt like the tramadol wasn't really working. So I know I'm almost 5 days in, so I know the pain and stuff is going to switch up. I just started swelling yesterday. My leg started swelling yesterday. Therapist came. They said, it's normal, whatever, right? So now that I only have 5 pills of tramadol left, I'm debating if I should consult my physician again, because they said if I needed something stronger, she was going to prescribe Oxy. She said, first I can try to double up the tramadol, or she'll prescribe Oxy. I've never taken that before. I only took a Percocet once, and I was loopy and a total mess. But I'm wondering if now that I've almost endured for a week taking the tramadol, if I should request a prescription of Oxy, something that strong, or if I should just try to get a refill of the tramadol.
So the thing that I think first is most importantly is you just need to have a conversation with your doctor about the next course of action and let her know all of your concerns. I mean, if it made you feel loopy, if it's something you're not comfortable with, there are other options. There are more than 2 drugs out there, and 2 other that you can use. Again, I think now's the perfect time to call your doctor and have an educated conversation, informing her, A, how you feel, B, how you respond, and what your hesitation might be, to work through a plan. Remember, you are the MVP on the team. So basically, you're just going to the coach to call on the next play for you to win and score. Does that make sense? So rather than call and ask for something specific, here's the situation. What do you think? How do you think we should proceed? Does that make sense? Hello?
Jack?
It kind of sounds like a robot. So, Joe, I can't really hear. Doc?
So what Doc said was he thinks that you need to talk to your physician and not ask for a specific drug. What you need to do is the following: tell them how you're feeling and what the time when you took the probably next prescribed option, which is Percocet, oxycodone, how it made you feel, because there's other options out there besides those 2 drugs, so
Absolutely.
It's not for you to tell them, well, if you prescribe me this and prescribe me that, tell them this is how it made me feel. And I'm asking, should we up the dose? What do you think the next move is that I can manage this pain and become whole? I think I said what Doc said in so many words.
No, and that's great advice as well, because I had a talk with my mother-in-law actually before the show today, saying that I need to call the doctor back to definitely get something more. I mean, granted, I don't know how long the pain is supposed to last from having this, total hip replacement, but I just feel like it's never, the medicine I've been taking has never really truly affected me like I feel like it should. I've been wired, if anything. I've been more like wide awake and can't really sleep.
And that's why I told you, Sister Jackson, I'm not a doctor, because you got a doctor here, and I'm following his advice. But I'm telling you from my experience, and that's why I told you this more than 5 days out about that Toradol, and that you could do what the doctor said, because I'm not a doctor. But my thing is, when for me, Dr. Griggs, after the second day and this is not working and you're suffering, that's when that call needs to go in. Because I think that at the end of the day, we're trying to work this through, but it's nothing wrong. Because a doctor will tell you, for instance, erythromycin, my kids took it the second time, but then they had an allergic reaction. I had to call the doctor right away. They said, oh, stop that right away. Stop that. Erythromycin. Hanifa could not take erythromycin. You understand? So they have to give us something else. Right. Mm-hmm. They gave my daughter a derivative of morphine to stop pain. She had an allergic reaction in the ER. They had to give her what is called Benadryl, which, deals. So they had to deal with that allergic reaction right away, because she said she felt like her throat was closing up. So that's why Dr. Griggs gave you the best advice. But it's the same thing I told you 3 days ago, that if it wasn't working, call your doctor right away, so you didn't have to suffer 3 more days. Because Toradol, which Doc, I heard different things. Sometimes it's listed as a narcotic, then it's come back as not a narcotic. What is it listed as of today? Toradol, is it considered a narcotic?
Toradol is different. That's something that's given usually at the hospital. Tramadol was a long time. Yeah, for a long time, it wasn't listed as a non-narcotic, but it works in the same the mu receptors that opioids work on. So it is considered a scheduled drug. But what I would do is, again, exactly like you said, Brother Fatin, now's the time to call. Hey, my pain is not being managed. And I'm not calling for something stronger. I just need a better regimen. If it includes something stronger, great. If not, great. But my pain is not I'm not getting rest. It's not being managed, and I'm not getting rest. And again, it's a very honest, open, non-judgmental, objective conversation about your subjective pain, with you being the main subject.
Exactly.
If you pulled your car off the lot and if you pulled your car off the lot and that check engine light popped back on as soon as you pulled out of the driveway of the mechanic shop, you pull right back in. Hey, wait, it's not enough. It's the same thing.
Exactly. Okay. So thank you guys for your advice. I will definitely speak to my doctor. I've been in talks with my doctor, the nurse practitioner, physical therapist, the past few days. So now that, my mother-in-law just showed me I only had like 5 pills left, I'm like, that's just going to get me through the day. And there's no way I could function tomorrow without it. I feel, because the pain is not to a level where I'm like, okay, I'm absolutely fine. So thank you so much, guys. And Doc Griggs, I have some other questions to ask you, like when I'm in person for the show. So okay. I'll let you guys finish up, but I appreciate you. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. And I'll keep you posted with what happens.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
Thank you, brother.
There you go, Jack.
Thank you.
Okay, talk to you soon.
Let me just say this real quick, because I got to go. So Dr. Griggs and Joe, there's a question that we'll save till you come back on. Well, 2 things I want to bring up. This is also Mental Health Awareness Month, September. And we wanted to say to you, Dr. Griggs, you may have someone, instead of us inviting somebody that deals with that, you may have someone that you may know that you may have worked with or feel
my sister.
Okay, so good. We want to plan that before September is out. And then I want to also ask a little bit more and get into a deep discussion. What does the prostate do? And also about prostate cancer and things like that. But I'll save that for another specific show. But those are the 2 things. But definitely before this month goes out, I want to talk about mental health awareness, because we don't talk enough about that.
So I'll work to get my sister on real quick. The purpose of the prostate is to provide fluid for semen. It's donut shaped. It's about the size of a walnut. It sits at the bottom of the bladder and wraps around what's called your urethra, like this. So when it swells up, it pinches down, which is why you get your stream gets interrupted, like the do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do. It's like a donut. Imagine the inside of the donut swelling around the circumference of a tube that's supposed to let out water in a water bag. Pretend that my bladder is my fist and my urethra is my finger. Wrap the prostate around it. As it gets inflamed, you see it pinches off the tube, which is why it takes more pressure to stop and pressure to stop, right? If you're trying to turn off a hose with the water still running, it kind of dribbles. That's what can happen if your prostate gets inflamed. And we can get into it. I mean, as the prostate-specific antigen, your PSA, it measures the amount of protein or tissue that your prostate has at that time, and that's why you check your PSA and you look for variations and changes. And that's the quick one. It provides the semen. It provides the fluid for your sperm to swim in.
There you go. Because I had this is definitely just a thought in my head. It's definitely a thought. I've never heard this, never had a discussion on it, but I was saying, as men get older and their sex life decrease, we see more men, deal with prostate cancer. So I was saying, boy, you got to keep using it, or you'll lose it.
No, use it or lose it. Use it or lose it twice a week, at least twice a week. You got to keep. You don't want things to back up.
See, that's what I've been saying. That's what I said on this show before. You think that being celibate is helpful, and at the end of the day, it can become a bigger problem for y'all. And someone want to come at me, Dr. Griggs, last week when I said that. And I'm glad that you said that. I'm gonna use it as long as I got it.
How long before you leave your car sitting in the driveway do the tires start to deteriorate and the car become non-functional?
Yep, and the battery goes dead.
You got to go out and start it, right? And move it. At least once or twice a week if you want to keep that car.
That's right. Ain't nobody laying next to me. Trust me, it gonna get taken care of. Because I don't play with it. That's why Dr. Griggs and Joe's laughing. But I'm dead
No, I'm
serious
not.
about this.
I'm
That's why
not.
I brought this up
Listen,
last
listen,
week.
brother Fatima.
Because I
We
don't play
need to
with
make
this, man.
we need to make sure we have a full hour show to go through this
Yeah.
because many a times, see, you're going somewhere that I know we don't have enough time, and I'm actually going to be a blessing to everybody. I know Doc Griggs is on the road, and Doc, I really love you. I appreciate you, brother. I've got something that the 100 Black men here in Lafayette we've been talking about. I really want to talk to you about, and we'll have a private conversation on the phone. I know Brother Fatim got to get going, and he's got a meeting. So listen, we're going to kind of abbreviate hashtag truth be told, because Doc Griggs is out there completely educating folks, doing his doctor thing. He's out and about. I want to respect that man's time. I respect that he comes on here every Tuesday, and we have nothing but love for Doc Griggs. Doc, you my dude. And
I appreciate it. Y'all are my guys.
you know, and Doc don't know, I'm gonna corner him up to have him to come to Lafayette and have a word at a health fair to kind of get these brothers in a place where we can start understanding that we have to take care of ourselves. So, Brother Fatim, I'm gonna let you hurry up and have some closing words before you get out. Go ahead and have your closing words while you
My
in the
closing
dark.
words is, you know, at the end of the day, this is about learning. And I just think that always have your mind open. And what we try to do, as Dr. Griggs says, especially during this medical segment, is to bring information to you that you can really take something that you can maybe apply it or take it back to your doctors. Because a lot of us have challenges. Some of us speak about it, some of us don't speak about it. But we just trying to make sure that people are informed. And that's the best I can leave you with today. I just want everybody to have a great, great, great day. All right. And I will talk to everybody tomorrow. I'll be traveling back to South Carolina, but I will be joining the podcast, you know, close to the second hour, but I'll definitely join in. Okay.
We'll be in the building. We'll be in the building. Dr.
Yeah,
Griggs.
Dr. Griggs.
I know Dr. Griggs out there on the road. Go ahead, brother. Give me some closing words as we get ready. We're going to cut it short today. We're going to cut it a little short, and we'll be back next Tuesday, and we're going to get into this suicide prevention, and we're going to get into prostate. Those are going to be our two next subjects for the two next times you see Doc Griggs. So get your questions together. Get your people on here where we can have some real conversation. Doc Griggs, I know you're out there. I know you doing what you do. Go ahead and give me some closing words, man, where you can enjoy the rest of your day.
I will keep it brief and simple. Get checked, get fit, get moving, get checked. Have the conversations with your doctor, but start at home. Start with your family. Find out what it is that you are predisposed to. And then when you get to your doctor, ask all the questions. Remember, you are the MVP of your team. Get fit, eat healthy foods. Healthy foods are the ones with the simplest ingredients. The main ingredient in orange is an orange. Main ingredient in chicken is chicken. The main ingredient in broccoli is broccoli. And water is water. The less ingredients, the healthier. Find something you like to do and do it. Get out there and move the conversation, move the needle, and move the needle in a positive direction for your health. See y'all next week.
That's what I'm talking about. That's Doc Griggs, y'all. Listen, family, we're cutting the podcast a little short today. Brother Fatim is in New York. Doc Griggs, where are you at, Doc? Talk to me.
I'm out in the world.
Doc somewhere, and he's doing what Doc does. I am, you know me. I'm all over the place. I was in. Wait a minute. I'm gonna say this again. To all my Dallas Cowboy fans out there, how y'all let them Houdads come and take over Arlington the way they took it over? A friend of mine called me last night and said he saw the Caesar Superdome symbol on AT&T Stadium. They have officially renamed that place the New Orleans Caesar Superdome North.
Yeah, and they mad. They mad.
They big man.
Oh, they mad. They big man.
They big man. So with that being said, to everybody out there, be better today than you were yesterday. And do something today to be a blessing to somebody somewhere that there's no earthly way, no how that they can pay you back, because when you give it and you give it freely, trust me, God has a way of getting it back to you where it is in so much gratification to yourself. There's no way that you can plant a seed until you let that seed loose from your hand. Loose it from your hand where it can fall and it can get into good soil and it can grow. Remember that there is no secret, absolutely no secret, what God can do. What he has done for others, he will and he can do for you. But when God is with you, nothing or no one can stand against you. Be blessed. On the behalf of myself, Joe Dupree, 100 BLK, the Black Station, my brother Fatim from 107.5 WBLS in New York, Doc Griggs all over the world, internationally. You never know where he's at, but wherever he is advocating for you to get moving, to get checked, to get fit, and get it going. So, and for our sister Jax, who is recovering, nothing but love. You'll see her lovely face very soon. We are hashtag truth be told, and we are on this Tell the Truth Tuesday out of here. Peace.